High Admiral Zara Vex stood motionless before the grand viewing portal of the Krylonian Empire's flagship, the Eternal Dawn. Her crystalline form caught the light of distant stars, sending prismatic patterns across the command deck. For 15 millennia, the Krylonian Empire had reigned supreme across known space, their crystalline technology and mastery of quantum mechanics unchallenged. Until now, High Admiral, her second-in-command, Commander Nexus, approached with an urgency that sent ripples through his crystalline structure. The unknown fleet has breached our outer sensor network, but something's wrong. They're not using any known form of propulsion. Zyra's faceted eyes narrowed as she studied the tactical display. The vessels appeared as dark silhouettes against the backdrop of space, their hulls seeming to absorb both light and sensor scans. They moved with an impossible grace, defying the very laws of physics that the Krylonian Empire had built their civilization upon. "Numbers," she demanded, her voice resonating with the natural harmonic frequency of her crystal form. "Impossible to determine, High Admiral. Our sensors." Nexus hesitated, his crystalline surface clouding with confusion. "They're reading both zero ships and infinite ships simultaneously. It's as if they exist in a quantum state we can't comprehend." The tactical display suddenly flickered, and a new image appeared, a creature unlike anything in the Empire's vast databases. It stood on two legs, its soft flesh contained within what appeared to be a formal uniform. Most striking was its face, smooth, asymmetrical, with only two eyes and features that seemed almost unfinished compared to the geometric perfection of Krylonian form. "Greetings, High Admiral Vex," the creature spoke, its voice carrying an unexpected warmth. "I am Fleet Admiral Sarah Chen of the United Earth Federation. We apologize for any alarm our arrival may have caused, but we believed it was time to make formal contact." Zyra's crystalline structure vibrated with tension. "How do you know my name?" "Our defensive networks should have prevented any surveillance of our command structure." A slight smile crossed the human's face. "High Admiral, we've been watching the Krylonian Empire for the past century. Your quantum crystalline technology is impressive, but you've barely scratched the surface of what's possible with quantum mechanics." As if to demonstrate, several human ships simply phased through the Empire's supposedly impenetrable quantum barriers, their hulls briefly becoming transparent before resolidifying. The display showed impossible readings, energy signatures that shouldn't exist, materials that defied known physics, and propulsion systems that seemed to bend reality itself. "Impossible," Nexus whispered, his crystal form clouding with disbelief. "Our barriers are based on fundamental quantum principles. Nothing can penetrate them without disrupting the entire network." "Nothing you know of," Admiral Chen corrected gently. "Humanity has taken a different path in our development. While your empire focused on perfecting crystalline technology, we explored the spaces between possibilities. We learned to exist in multiple quantum states simultaneously, to navigate the probability spaces you consider theoretical." Zyra's tactical training warred with her scientific curiosity. "If you've had such capabilities, why reveal yourselves now? Why not remain hidden?" "Because the galaxy is changing, High Admiral." Chen's expression grew serious. "We've detected something approaching from intergalactic space, something that threatens all advanced civilizations. We didn't reveal ourselves earlier because we needed to understand you first, to know if cooperation would be possible." The human admiral gestured, and new data flooded the Krylonian displays. Information about spatial anomalies at the galaxy's edge, energy signatures that dwarfed anything either civilization had encountered, and patterns that suggested intelligent, coordinated movement on a cosmic scale. "Your empire has achieved remarkable stability through crystalline technology," Chen continued. "We offer something different. Adaptation, innovation, and ways of thinking that your people have never considered. Together, we might stand a chance against what's coming." As Zyra processed this information, she realized that humanity hadn't just challenged the Empire's military supremacy. They had shattered every assumption about technological progress, about the nature of reality itself. The humans hadn't conquered through force, but had achieved something far more profound. They had made the Empire's greatest achievements look like a child's first steps into quantum physics. "You've hidden among us, studied us, surpassed us," Zyra stated, her crystalline form shifting through colors of deep thought. "Yet you come not as conquerors, but as allies. Why should we trust you?" Admiral Chen's response was immediate and carried the weight of absolute conviction. "Because, High Admiral, humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology or our military might. It's our understanding that true power comes from lifting others up, not holding them down. We don't want to rule the galaxy. We want to help it survive what's coming." Standing there, watching impossible ships dance through space like quantum ghosts, Zyra realized that the Krylonian Empire stood at a crossroads. They could cling to their crystalline pride and face the cosmic threat alone, or embrace something unprecedented. A partnership with beings who had turned physics itself into an art form. The choice, she realized, would reshape the galaxy's future, and somewhere out in the darkness between the stars, something was coming that would test both civilizations in ways neither had imagined possible. The crystal spire of harmony, seat of the Krylonian High Council, had never hosted non-crystalline beings in its 15,000-year history. Yet today, its prismatic halls reflected not just the geometric perfection of Krylonian architecture, but the soft, organic forms of human diplomats. High Admiral Zyra watched as Admiral Chen's delegation moved through the chamber, their movements somehow both awkward and graceful to crystalline eyes. "Your ability to maintain quantum coherence at biological temperatures is fascinating," Council Elder Prisma observed, her ancient crystalline form refracting light in complex patterns that spoke of both curiosity and concern. "Our scientists long ago concluded that organic life was too chaotic for advanced quantum operations." Admiral Chen smiled, a gesture that still unsettled many Krylonians with its asymmetric nature. "That chaos is precisely what led us to our breakthroughs, Elder. We learned to embrace uncertainty rather than try to impose perfect order on it." The diplomatic session that followed demonstrated just how profound the differences between their civilizations were. Where Krylonian technology sought to perfect and stabilize quantum states, human innovations seemed to dance between possibilities. Their presentation showed ships that could exist in multiple locations simultaneously, weapons that altered probability itself, and communication systems that operated outside of conventional spacetime. "Impossible," muttered one of the younger council members, their crystalline form clouding with confusion. "You cannot simply ignore the quantum decoherence problem. Our most advanced theories prove." "That's just it," interrupted Dr. Maya Patel, the human quantum physicist who had stepped forward. "You've built an entire civilization around avoiding decoherence, creating perfect crystalline structures to maintain quantum states. We went the opposite direction. We learned to use decoherence itself as a tool." To demonstrate, she pulled out what looked like a simple metal sphere. As the Krylonian sensors focused on it, the sphere seemed to blur, its quantum state becoming increasingly uncertain until it existed in hundreds of locations simultaneously, each version slightly different, yet somehow all equally real. "This is just a basic demonstration unit," Dr. Patel explained as the Krylonian scientists' crystal forms flickered with astonishment. "Our actual technology operates on far more complex principles. We don't fight against quantum uncertainty. We surf it." High Admiral Zyra noticed something else during these exchanges. While the humans freely demonstrated their technological prowess, they were clearly holding back, showing just enough to prove their capabilities without revealing their full extent. It was a subtle dance of power and restraint that spoke volumes about their diplomatic sophistication. "You mentioned a threat." Elder Prisma steered the conversation back to its crucial point. "Show us what has driven you to reveal yourselves after a century of observation." The human delegation shared a look that translated across species barriers. Concern mixed with determination. Admiral Chen activated a holographic display. But this one was different from their previous demonstrations. Instead of the clean, precise quantum states the Krylonians were used to, this projection seemed to writhe with uncertain possibilities. "We call them void dancers," Chen explained as the image resolved into something that hurt to look at. Massive entities moving through intergalactic space, their very existence seeming to warp the fabric of reality around them. They don't just use quantum mechanics, they actively rewrite physical laws as they move. We've tracked them consuming 3 galaxies already. The council chamber erupted in harmonic discord as the Krylonians processed this information. Their sensors showed the entities were real, yet they seemed to defy every principle of physics the Empire had built itself upon. "How do you fight something that can rewrite physics itself?" Zyra asked, her tactical mind already grappling with the impossibility of the challenge. "With adaptation," Chen replied. "Your crystalline technology provides incredible stability, a foundation we can build upon. Our quantum surfing techniques offer the flexibility to respond to changing physical laws. Together, we might have a chance." "And if we refuse?" a council member challenged. "If we choose to face this threat with our own proven methods?" Chen's response was diplomatic but firm. "You've seen a fraction of our capabilities, achieved in just a few centuries while your empire spent millennia perfecting a single approach. The Void Dancers are unlike anything either of us has faced before. They don't care about pride or tradition. They care only about consumption and transformation. Working together isn't just our best option, it might be our only option." As the diplomatic session continued, Zyra observed the subtle ways the humans had arranged this revelation. They hadn't just demonstrated superior technology. They'd shown how that technology could complement rather than replace Krylonian achievements. They offered partnership rather than demanding submission, yet their every action carried an underlying message. The galaxy was changing, and the Empire needed to change with it. The crystal spire hummed with the harmonics of serious debate as the council processed these implications. Outside, human ships continued their impossible dance through space, their very existence a challenge to everything the Empire thought it knew about physics and possibility. Yet they waited patiently, letting the Krylonians come to terms with a universe far stranger and more dangerous than they had imagined. The diplomatic dance continued, each step carefully measured, each revelation precisely calculated. But beneath the formal exchanges and technological demonstrations lay a simple truth. 2 civilizations, each powerful in their own right, faced a choice between clinging to the familiar or embracing the unknown. And somewhere in the void between galaxies, entities that cared nothing for their deliberations were drawing ever closer. Not everyone in the Krylonian Empire embraced the prospect of human cooperation. Grand Marshal Vertex, commander of the Empire's 7th Fleet, had built his reputation on absolute adherence to traditional military doctrine. As he watched the diplomatic proceedings from his flagship, the Crystal Spear, his crystalline form pulsed with frequencies of barely contained rage. "We cannot allow these soft-bodied anomalies to dictate terms to the Empire," he declared to his assembled command staff. "Their claims about these void dancers are obviously fabricated to force our cooperation. We must prove their technological superiority is a lie." Without consulting the High Council, Vertex ordered his fleet of 500 warships to advance on the nearest human diplomatic vessel. His plan was simple: force the humans to either reveal their deception or submit to imperial authority. The response he received was neither. Grand Marshal Vertex, Admiral Chen's voice came through on all channels, still maintaining its diplomatic courtesy. "Your reputation for aggressive action precedes you. However, I strongly advise you to reconsider your current course." Vertex's crystalline laugh resonated through his command deck. "You dare threaten an Imperial fleet? All ships, battle formations. Show these presumptuous organics what real quantum technology can." He never finished the sentence. In an instant, every ship in his fleet found itself occupying the same space simultaneously, an impossibility that their quantum shields should have prevented. Yet somehow, The humans had forced 500 massive warships to exist in a quantum superposition, each vessel simultaneously real and not real, present and absent. What have you done? Vertex demanded, his tactical displays showing impossible readings as his ships existed everywhere and nowhere at once. We've merely adjusted your quantum probability field, Chen explained calmly. Your ships now exist in a state of quantum uncertainty. They're perfectly safe, but they won't be able to take any aggressive action until we collapse the field. Consider it a demonstration of what we mean by surfing quantum mechanics. Before Vertex could respond, new signals appeared on his few functioning sensors. Through the quantum haze, he watched as human ships simply emerged from what appeared to be the space between spaces. They didn't drop out of faster-than-light travel or decloak. They simply became, as if reality itself had decided to manifest them. This is your only warning, Chen continued. We've immobilized your fleet without destroying a single ship or harming a single crew member. Please understand, we don't want to fight. We genuinely need your cooperation against what's coming. High Admiral Zira, watching from a quantum relay near the Crystal Spire, felt her last doubts about human capabilities crumble. In less than a minute, without firing a single conventional weapon, they had neutralized one of the Empire's most powerful fleets. But the demonstration wasn't over. The human ships began moving in patterns that defied comprehension, their hulls shifting between states of matter as if physical laws were merely polite suggestions. Where Krylonian ships required precise calculations and vast energy expenditure for any quantum operation, the human vessels seemed to treat reality itself as a medium to be sculpted. Perhaps now is a good time to show you what true cooperation could achieve, Chen offered. With a gesture, her ships began releasing waves of quantum energy that enveloped Vertex's fleet. As the Krylonians watched in stunned silence, their ship's systems didn't just reactivate. They evolved. Energy readings showed each vessel operating at quantum efficiency levels that should have been impossible. Their crystalline cores, the pride of Imperial engineering, now pulsed with new frequencies that somehow maintained stability while channeling far more power than their designs should have allowed. How? Vertex's voice had lost all its previous arrogance. How did you modify our quantum cores without destabilizing them? We didn't just study your technology, Grand Marshal, Chen explained. We learned how to perfect it. Your ships are now operating on optimized quantum principles that your engineers would have discovered in another millennium of research. Consider it a small demonstration of what partnership between our civilizations could mean. The implications struck Zira like a physical blow. The humans hadn't just developed superior technology. They had mastered it to such a degree that they could casually improve upon Imperial designs that had taken millennia to perfect. And they had done it not as an act of aggression, but as a gesture of good faith. As Vertex's fleet hung in space, their ships simultaneously humbled and enhanced, Zira noticed something else. The humans had specifically chosen a demonstration that proved both their overwhelming technological superiority and their commitment to avoiding unnecessary violence. They could have destroyed the fleet, but instead they had turned an act of aggression into an opportunity for growth. Your empire has achieved remarkable things, Chen addressed all watching Krylonians. Your crystalline technology, your quantum engineering, these are incredible accomplishments, but you've reached the limits of what can be achieved through perfect order alone. The threats we face require both stability and chaos, tradition and innovation, crystalline precision, and quantum uncertainty. We don't want to replace your civilization. We want to help it evolve. The quantum relays hummed with the implications of this event. Throughout the Empire, Krylonians watched as their most basic assumptions about physics and warfare were completely upended. Yet in this moment of potential crisis, the humans had chosen to teach rather than destroy, to elevate rather than subjugate. As Grand Marshal Vertex's fleet slowly returned to normal space, their ships forever transformed by human quantum engineering, Zira realized that the Empire faced a choice far more complex than simple survival. They could cling to their crystalline pride and face extinction, or they could embrace a partnership that promised to redefine what was possible. The newly constructed Quantum Harmony Station hung in space like a dream made real, its structure a seamless blend of Krylonian crystalline architecture and human quantum engineering. High Admiral Zira stood in the central observation chamber, her crystalline form reflecting the strange beauty of this hybrid creation. Below her, teams of human and Krylonian scientists worked together, each bringing their unique perspectives to the challenges ahead. "Remarkable how quickly your people have adapted," Admiral Chen observed, joining her at the window. "A month ago, the idea of humans and Krylonians working together would have seemed impossible." Zira's form shifted through colors of contemplation. "Fear is a powerful motivator, Admiral. The data you've shown us about the Void Dancers has only scratched the surface," Chen finished grimly. With a gesture, she activated the station's quantum imaging array, revealing a sight that made even Zira's crystalline structure vibrate with unease. The void between galaxies wasn't empty anymore. Massive shapes moved through the darkness, their forms defying standard physics. Where normal matter and energy should have existed, these entities seemed to operate on completely different principles. They didn't so much travel through space as they rewrote it, leaving altered physical constants in their wake. "We first detected them 70 years ago," Chen explained, expanding the display to show the path of destruction these entities had carved through neighboring galaxies. "At first, we thought they were some kind of natural phenomenon. Then we noticed patterns, purpose, intelligence." The display shifted, showing the aftermath of a Void Dancer attack on a distant galaxy. What remained wasn't just empty space. It was something worse. The fundamental constants of physics had been altered in the region, making it impossible for normal matter to exist in stable forms. "They don't just consume," Zira realized, her tactical mind grasping the horrifying implications. "They transform. They're changing the very nature of space itself." "Exactly," Chen nodded. "That's why we've spent the last century preparing. Your empire's crystalline technology provides incredible stability, a foundation we can build upon. Our quantum surfing techniques offer the flexibility to respond to changing physical laws. Together, we might have a chance." An alert sounded, drawing their attention to a new set of readings. The quantum sensors, enhanced by the combination of human and Krylonian technology, had detected something unprecedented. The Void Dancers had changed course. "They've noticed us," Zira stated, her form pulsing with concern. "More specifically, they've noticed our preparations," Chen corrected, studying the data. "Look at their movement patterns. They're not just approaching. They're adapting their approach. They've never encountered a unified response before." The observation chamber filled with other officials and scientists as the news spread. Dr. Patel, the human quantum physicist, worked alongside Crystal Master Prism, their combined expertise trying to make sense of the readings. "The quantum field distortions are unlike anything we've seen," Prism reported, his crystalline form vibrating with both excitement and fear. "They're not just bending space. They're rewriting the quantum foam itself." "But look at this," Dr. Patel pointed to a particular set of readings. "When they encounter our combined quantum barriers, they have to slow down. They can't simply rewrite physics where we've established stable quantum fields reinforced by crystalline technology." Chen turned to Zira, her expression serious. "This is what we've been preparing for. Your empire's ability to maintain stable quantum states across vast distances, combined with our ability to adapt and surf quantum uncertainty. It's the first real defense anyone has mounted against them." The station hummed with activity as more data poured in. Throughout Imperial space, the network of quantum defense platforms, a combination of human ingenuity and Krylonian engineering, was coming online. Each installation represented a perfect fusion of both civilizations' technologies, creating zones where reality itself was anchored against external manipulation. "They're changing formation," Zira noted, watching the massive entities shift their approach. "This isn't just a hunting pattern anymore. They recognize us as a threat. Good. Chen's response carried a fierce pride. Let them know they're not facing divided prey anymore. This galaxy is ready to fight back. As if in response to her words, new alerts sounded throughout the station. The Void Dancers had launched their first direct attack on the Quantum Defense Network. Everyone watched as one of the massive entities attempted to rewrite physics in a protected sector. The result was spectacular. Where the entity attempted to alter quantum constants, it found itself caught in a web of stable crystalline fields enhanced by human quantum surfing technology. For the first time in recorded history, a Void Dancer's attempt to transform space had been blocked. "Look at these readings," Dr. Patel exclaimed, her excitement clear. "The crystalline matrix is holding steady while our quantum surfing systems adapt to their attempts at reality manipulation. It's working exactly as we theorized." But victory celebrations were premature. The Void Dancers immediately began changing tactics, probing the defense network for weaknesses, testing new methods of reality manipulation against their combined technologies. "They're learning," Zyra observed grimly. "Each attack is different, more sophisticated than the last." "Then we'll learn faster," Chen replied with characteristic human determination. "Every attack gives us more data, more understanding of how they operate. And unlike them, we have something they've never encountered before. Two civilizations working as one, combining order and chaos, stability and adaptation." The Quantum Harmony Station continued its vigilant watch as the first real battle between united galactic civilization and cosmic horror unfolded. Throughout Imperial space, humans and Krylonians worked together, each bringing their unique strengths to a fight that would determine not just their survival, but the very nature of reality in their galaxy. 3 months into the conflict with the Void Dancers, the galaxy had transformed in ways neither humanity nor the Krylonian Empire could have predicted. The Quantum Harmony Station, once a symbol of tentative cooperation, had become the nerve center of the most sophisticated defense network ever created. High Admiral Zyra and Admiral Chen stood before the quantum imaging array, watching as another Void Dancer assault broke against their combined defenses. The massive entity's attempt to rewrite local physics encountered a seamless blend of crystalline stability and quantum adaptation, its reality warping powers reflected back upon itself. "They're retreating again," Zyra observed, her crystalline form glowing with the complex harmonics of victory and contemplation. "That's the third attempt they've abandoned in as many days. More importantly, look at their pattern recognition." Chen pointed to the behavioral analysis. "They're starting to avoid sectors where we've established our strongest hybrid defenses. For the first time in their existence, they're learning caution." The display shifted to show the broader strategic situation. Throughout the galaxy, the network of quantum defense platforms had created safe zones where normal physics remained inviolate. Between these anchors, joint fleet groups of human and Krylonian vessels patrolled, their technologies complementing each other in ways that would have seemed impossible months ago. "To think," Zyra mused, "just a few months ago, my people believed absolute order was the only path to advancement. Now look at us." She gestured to the station around them, where Krylonian crystal tech interfaced seamlessly with human quantum engineering. Throughout the facility, humans and Krylonians worked together, each bringing their unique perspectives to problems that neither civilization could have solved alone. "The latest breakthroughs from the joint research teams are remarkable," Dr. Patil announced, approaching with Crystal Master Prism. Their collaborative work had revolutionized both civilizations' understanding of quantum mechanics. "We've learned more about crystal harmonics in 3 months than we did in a millennium of isolated study," Prism agreed, his form vibrating with frequencies of excitement. "By combining our crystalline stability with human quantum surfing techniques, we're not just defending against reality manipulation, we're learning to initiate it ourselves." The implications were staggering. Where once the Krylonian Empire had sought to impose perfect order on quantum states, they now learned to work with uncertainty, to use chaos as a tool rather than an enemy. Meanwhile, human quantum engineering gained new precision and stability from crystalline technology, allowing for more controlled and sustainable manipulations of reality. A priority alert drew their attention back to the tactical display. The Void Dancers had begun a new approach, but something was different this time. They're moving in formation, Chen observed, studying the patterns. All remaining entities coordinating their reality manipulation attempts. This is it. They're committing to a final assault. The galaxy seemed to hold its breath as the Void Dancers launched their ultimate attack. Space itself buckled as they attempted to rewrite physics on an unprecedented scale, their combined power dwarfing anything previously recorded. But this time, the United Galaxy was ready. "Activate the Quantum Resonance Network," Zyra commanded, her voice carrying across all channels. Throughout Imperial space, crystalline installations hummed to life, their perfect geometries establishing points of absolute stability in the quantum foam. Between these anchors, human quantum surfing systems created adaptive fields that could bend without breaking, channeling, and redirecting the Void Dancers' reality-warping energies. "Network synergy at maximum," Dr. Puddle reported, watching as human and Krylonian technologies achieved perfect harmony. "The crystalline matrices are holding steady while our quantum surfing systems adapt to their manipulation attempts. We're not just blocking them, we're learning from them." The battle that followed defied conventional description. The Void Dancers threw their full reality warping power against the galaxy's defenses, trying to transform space itself into something hostile to normal matter. But at every point, they encountered the combined might of two civilizations that had learned to merge order and chaos, stability and adaptation, tradition and innovation. "Look at these readings," Crystal Master Prism exclaimed. "The hybrid defense network isn't just resisting their changes. It's establishing new quantum constants. We're not just preserving our reality, we're strengthening it." Slowly but surely, the Void Dancers' assault began to falter. Their attempts to rewrite physics encountered ever stronger resistance as the combined network learned and adapted. For the first time in their ancient existence, they faced a force that could not only withstand their power, but grow stronger from the encounter. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, the massive entities began to withdraw. Their retreat wasn't just tactical, it was existential. They had encountered something unprecedented. A galaxy that had turned diversity into strength, that had proven adaptation and stability could coexist and reinforce each other. "They're leaving the local group entirely," Chen announced, tracking their departure vectors. Their entire approach to reality manipulation was based on encountering divided, specialized civilizations against our combined capabilities. They found themselves becoming what they had always made others become: obsolete. Zyra finished. As the immediate threat receded, the true magnitude of what they had achieved began to sink in. The Krylonian Empire had not just survived, it had evolved beyond its crystalline limitations. Humanity had found ways to stabilize and focus its quantum innovations. Together, they had created something entirely new, a civilization that could face cosmic horrors and emerge stronger. "The question now," Chen mused, watching the Void Dancers vanish into intergalactic space, "is what we do with everything we've learned. These advancements, this cooperation, it's changed both our civilizations forever." Zyra's crystalline form shifted through colors of deep contemplation before settling into a new harmonic pattern, one that merged traditional Krylonian frequencies with variations inspired by human quantum theories. "Perhaps that was the true test all along," she suggested, "not just surviving the Void Dancers, but proving that different paths to advancement could converge and strengthen each other. We faced entropy incarnate and discovered that the key to survival wasn't perfect order or pure adaptation, but learning to embrace both." The Quantum Harmony Station continued its vigilant watch over the galaxy, no longer just a defensive installation but a symbol of what diverse civilizations could achieve together. In its halls, humans and Krylonians worked side by side, each bringing their unique perspectives to the challenge of building something new. a future where the strengths of both civilizations would light the way forward into an ever-evolving cosmos.